See me? And I'm not just like completely alone. Let me try this one more time. Let's see. Let's see if I'm actually like showing up correctly. I don't know about that. Should be on. I'm currently streaming. Let's see. No, I don't want to customize my channel. I want to see if I'm actually like working. Am I on? Can literally anyone see me? Let me see. I don't think I'm on at all. Oh, here we go. Nope. Nope. See me? I'm not just like completely alone. Let me try this one more time. Let's see. Let's see if I'm actually like showing up. I think, can you see me? Am I like actually on? Okay, cool. Jesus Christ. Glad that's working better now. So that is good. Okay, let's actually like try doing what we were talking about. So now we're gonna get all that out of the way. We've wasted a ton of freaking time. For you that stuck by and are still here, is there anything you'd want to see in particular? I was planning on going through some stuff in Programming Assignment 2, like walking through some of like the code and some of the things we did in that program assignment and like fix or correct some ideas that people had. But I'm happy to do anything else or show anything else. I really wanted to do like some MongoDB stuff today, but that ended up being the case. I know that. Okay, I could talk about what the search query for something like that would be, and a little bit, kind of covering a little bit of what that looks like. Yeah, we can do that right now. So let's go over to main.js. Or not main. This is app.js. This is the main route and all stuff like that. I know a couple of people were getting confused about the user router and index router. Inside the user router, you're always already in /users. That's everything. That's assuming /users is already existing, is like already happening and stuff. So all of our routes in the user.js or users.js, it's all assuming it's stemming from /users. I know there's some confusion around that. So I'm going to go in routes. I'm going to go in user. And here we have this GET request here. And so I'm already doing a bunch of things inside of here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Of like other things going through. I already did like most of this for you. But you did have to implement your search route inside of here. I didn't write that for you. So that's something you would have to work on yourself. Now, some people were trying to do things like oh, the search route has to be like, slash, or like this search equals, cat or whatever, you know what I mean? And like trying to like, no. So maybe I didn't explain this very well in class, and it's probably my fault. But the routes for Express are only for the path of the URL, not the query of the URL. We get the query from the res object or the response or the request object that we get through and stuff like that. So that's like where that's coming from. So first I want to see like, do we get something? Like, is there something actually in there? So I can do something like, if, I don't know. We know that our thing is inside req.query. Since what we're looking for in the URL is a query, actual query parameters that we're looking for is going to be inside this object in the request.query. And this is the query that has all the queries, any URL queries we had. If I had a query that was called cat or something and had its own values, that would be the name of it. But ours, I told you I wanted ours to be called search. So request.query.search is where our search query will be. And that will actually be the result. That's not, that'll be the string or whatever we put inside of there. So if I have something like, I don't know, slash user slash, oh no, it's not slash, right? It can be question mark, search equals cat or whatever. Then the value of this, is cat, or is the string cat. It's actually like inside of there. So that's like what we have. Relatively easy thing to be thinking about. So first we want to see, like, does this exist? Is there any synthetic? In fact, I almost want to do like a not. I think I'd rather like this isn't happening. I guess it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It's whatever way you want to do it. So we do have a query, so we want to do something with it. I'm not actually going to show you how to query inside of an array. You should be able to know how to do that yourself. Like you're going to be like, users as an array. That this is, an array of things and stuff like that. Oh, got a little message there. So we know like that's already like existing and like doing other things and stuff like that. And you just want to find an element inside of there. There are a couple ways of doing that. You could do like dot find, you know what I mean, would be one way of doing that. I believe, if I remember correctly, dot find, you pass it a function of how to like describe like what it is you're looking at. So it's something like x, I don't know, over, and then what is it? It's I don't, what is this? Like x dot, I don't know, x dot like name, for example, equals, I don't know, req dot query dot search. Is that gonna work? It's something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. What's the difference between? Nothing. Well, the difference is req request.query is the query part of the URL. So remember, we have like different parts of the URL. So if I have like HTTP, example.com/users. I don't know. That's oh yeah, I want that. Search equals cat. You know what I mean? So we know this part right here. This is the query part of a URL, and so that anything we have inside of there would be found in req query.search. That's what we called it. But if I had other ones in here, if I had multiple ones, you could do something like I don't know, house equals. I'm really running out of names here. And something like that. Well, I could access that from like req dot query dot house, and that's going to equal the string big, so it's anything inside of there. Now the params is if we actually had any parameters inside of our URL. So in this one we don't, but say I don't know, I take this right here, let's do this like it was a put. And we have, username and stuff like that. Now if I wanted to see what was inside of there, that would be, req dot param, because this is a parameter, like a URL parameter that we have, and the name we chose for this was username. So username would be inside of that, and this would match anything that was. Example.com/, users slash, and anything inside of here, anything here. Like literally anything, any kind of stuff like that is kind of going through. That's what would be the function or name inside of that. So rq.query.search, that's going to be the query part of our parameter. Once you have that, you'll have the string of whatever was inside of that, if it existed. And if it exists, you'll have like what the actual value of that is. And then you'll also have, and now that you're just going to do like a dot find or a dot includes or something from that. And you have a bunch of different options that you can use to kind of, look through this. I'm not actually going to do that because I'm lazy. But I can do something like, I don't know, slash users, and I'm going to like push this to, I don't know, let's just throw the thing in there. Whatever's in there, it's just what we're going to return. So we'll just return back anything just to show you that that works. And if it doesn't, we have like a else, this, I'm going to save that. Oh, I don't have my PowerShell on. Oh, nope. Come on. Okay. What is it? CD docs, git, okay. Cool. I'm surprised it's actually worked then. This shouldn't have worked. Okay. So slash users search equals cat. Haha! There we go. Got cat in there. And anything I put in here, I'm just spitting it out. Just spitting fire. I misspelled straight, didn't I? There's an A in straight. AI, right? Right? Yeah. Ha ha ha! What? So, you're welcome. You got that working. Oh no, another spam. What is with the spammers today? Like every time, right? It's kind of crazy. Yeah, you're getting perma banned. Crazy. Okay. Yeah. So I mean that's all that is taken. And if I weren't to do anything, you know what I mean? If I were like have nothing here, or if it's not search, right? If it's like cat equals cat, nothing happens because we didn't look for that one in particular. That does exist somewhere. I could look up. I should make you a mod, actually. That would probably make a lot of sense. In fact, I'll just do that. That makes sense. You're actually been pretty helpful through all of our things. There we go. You're now modded. In case we ever see any other weird spam and stuff like that. I appreciate all the help. So that's like a little bit of like how that works. You know what I mean? It's just kind of showing a bit of that. And, hopefully that makes a little more sense. So that's how that works. We're kind of doing that. Let's do like another GET request here. Have this be a GET. And I'm just going to show the exact same thing taking place here as well. So it's going to... Surprised that actually worked. Status, send, and I'm just going to use req dot param dot username. Okay. So I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get other things going through. Nothing else is happening. But if I do something like cats, it should just spit out like cats. Oh, it didn't. That's weird. That totally should have worked. Cannot read property source of no. It's not me. It's not a me issue. What did we actually get back from that? Preview. Headers. Those are 200, but I didn't. That's weird. What did I do wrong? Route.get / username. Is that param? Yeah, users push. Res send. Did I misspell that? Or put something wrong in there? Oh, it's params. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot the S. Let's actually make sure that actually worked. I'm surprised I didn't get like a runtime. I should have got a runtime error because I was looking up something that's like undefined, right? Yeah. Yeah, let's kill that. Let me just restart that for good measure. Yeah, I'm kind of like shocked that actually worked. That should have like completely failed. Or like failed in like a much larger way. Haha, there we go. See? What? Yeah, so that is like the difference between those two and kind of going back and forth between them and other stuff with that. That's, yeah, I would have expected it would have been like a runtime error because it, dot params or like dot param like shouldn't work. It should be like undefined. There should be nothing there. So I'm kind of surprised that I did get like a, looking for search and undefined or something, I would kind of expect that to be the case. So yeah, that's really strange. But yeah, that's the gist of kind of what we did for programming assignment 2. That's the most of like what you need to do, and it's just doing different things on that. You have delete, you have put, you have other things through that you're kind of building up for that, and then you're just accessing things inside your route and stuff. And then if you want to do your public code, main.js, I wrote all this code for you. You can do other kind of cool things inside of here, and you just be doing fetches in here. But you don't even need to be like getting back responses from those fetches. I mean, you could like print them out to the console and stuff like that. But it's not a huge deal. You know what I mean? There's not going to be other things going through. You just have to make sure that you're like sending or you're just using fetch or XML HTTP request correctly, and like setting your parameters right and stuff. Because with fetch, it's by default. If you don't give it any options, it's get, but you can tell it. You can tell it to be one of the other HTTP requests. You can tell it to be a put or a post or delete or what have you. If you're doing put and post and you're sending your data up through using a JSON file, you have to make sure that your accept headers are accept blah blah blah, like application/JSON. I was noticing like some people having weirdness with that, or like content type, or I think it's not just accept. No, it's content type or something. It's going through. No, there's nothing inside of that. Yeah, there's nothing in the JS standard docs. Let's say get requests. Yeah, it's part of the HTTP standard itself. So it is part of the HTTP standard of not having any body in a GET request, because it doesn't make sense. You're not sending anything to the server. Although, I mean, you kind of can, because we can use GET requests in forms. Oh, it's not really. That's interesting. I'm actually kind of curious about this now. Because that didn't make. Yeah, it doesn't make sense for it to have that. Let me see. No, HTML is haystack. It's still W3C. I'm actually kind of curious. It's all about the W3C still. As implemented in W3C. Protocols, status codes. Okay, what the living hell is this? What is this garbage? Oh, it's just really ugly. connection, blah, 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 IP address, request, client sends a document to the line of ASCII, request use the word get, space address, yep, doc whatever the spec, full HTTP spec, I'm kind of interested in looking for that, response, this kind of, because yeah, there's nothing that says it can or doesn't need to have a body, there's nothing that says it needs one. This is also the standard from 91, it's the HTTP 1.1 is a bit different. Jesus, this is really old. Status codes, field definitions, W3C. I misspelled. No, it's W3C. Oh, I'm sorry, W3C, not the other. Jesus Christ. Get request. Ha ha ha, here we go. Okay, so method definitions. This is what I'm actually looking for. This is what I want. Okay, so here's the whole things for how to accept mid-range type, accept the tokens, blah, 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 example. Oh, this is just the accept token. I don't want, that's header field definition. Here we go, method definitions. Yep, here we go, indefinite methods. The indefinite methods are get, head, put, and delete. So everything that's not post. Options, get requests. Get request is measured, blah, blah, blah. Semantics of it are conditional get if the request includes an if modified since. Yep. Conditional cover for that. Semantics of get requests are partial get, request a message to the range field. Partial get is only part of the entity. Yep. Okay. Okay. Response to a get request. Yep. It's cacheable if and only if it meets requirements for HTTP caching described in section 13. Yep. See section for security concerns when using form. I'm actually kind of curious about it. Head, post, put, delete, trace, connect. Those are the only ones. Encoding sensitive information in URIs. Yep. So you can do that. So part of the things in when we're talking about like uploading or like submitting data to a server, and if we're doing that using a GET request, because you can use a GET request in like an HTML form, but usually that stuff is being encoded inside the query part of the URI itself, like it's URL encoded data and stuff like that. You know, maybe kind of like work through and do other things and stuff like that. But there are like, you know, particular things. User agent strings, yep, everything's tags based on file and path names, DNF spoofing. Yeah, these are all like security issues to be careful about. Proxies and caching, denial, yeah, DDoSs on proxies, personal information. That's actually really interesting. Actually, there's a lot of cool stuff inside of here. Yeah, it is. It's interesting that it's not in the official docs and stuff like that. I guess it's really up to the different implementations of whether they do that. I know most don't ever look into that. That's why like you know, use Postman or other things like that. It's usually not going to actually be sending that request or sending that body in its GET request. But we could, yeah, I mean, you could have a body in a GET if you're using it to like upload data in a form, because only forms and posts are allowed in HTML forms. But usually when we're using a GET, and it's not like a visor, like probably shouldn't be using a GET request for that. It's like a legacy part of HTML. You know, it kind of goes against like the standard, or it goes against like the philosophy of what GET is supposed to be. But you can encode data like in the actual URL itself and pass information that way. And that's, you know, done a lot of times. But yeah, it's weird. I wouldn't have thought that being the case. Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm interested. That's interesting you found that. I would never have thought of that being the case, or you know, having any problems and stuff with that. So that's really cool to see. Okay. So, I mean, that's kind of like most of what I wanted to chat about. You know, I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole homework assignment, obviously, because people are still working on it. But I mean, that's most of those are like those are like the hardest issues and stuff from that, of like working through these different elements. And I think I even covered this last week too. Like we went over some of these of like the differences between there. And there's a bunch. Remember, there's like a bunch of stuff that's in. That's the main. There's like a bunch of stuff that's like in that request document or in that request body, and a lot of stuff that's in the res or response object. There's just a lot of interesting things inside of there. There's a lot more things we can do. from that. Trying to think if there's any other interesting Node stuff. I guess we could like talk about some stuff in app.json and how some of these elements and things are working. But there's not a lot here that really even talk about either. We talk stuff that we hadn't already talked about before. We mentioned a little bit about. Did we mention or talk about Pug last time? I think so. Yeah. So we have, but I'm not going to go into that. That's neither here nor there, because that's more front end stuff, and we haven't got anywhere close to talking about that and how that works. So it's not really necessary. 404 is our catch-all for everything else. URL encoding, extended false. Yep. These are all just like standard things that Express is doing for us. So there's not a whole lot to really even talk about here. Okay, yeah, I guess we can talk over a little bit of that. So MongoDB, we talked a little bit yesterday about the difference between SQL databases and MongoDB. So let's actually look at an example of like a SQL database and kind of play around with one. Let me see, SQL example. There should be places like to actually like play around with this stuff. That's a tutorial. I don't want that. Sample server. No, I don't want to download junk. I guess we'll use this. I don't really like W3 Schools. I think it's not a great site, but sometimes their exercises aren't terrible. Just want to see like their little home thing, or their little. Oh, here we go. Start learning. God damn it. There's usually a place inside of this of actually getting like to try out these stupid things. CL code examples, reference, data types, certificate. I know this. I was playing with this a while ago. There's a stupid like playing around with like a live database. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're not going to get into this anyway. That's really frustrating. I was really hoping to play around with one. Okay, so we'll just kind of walk through this. So we talked last week about SQL databases and how they organize tables. You have relationships with the tables together. We're kind of combining different things around that. That's how like one thing works. Another way of doing it, but that's not the only. That's the most popular strategy for that. And there's a lot of good reasons that why SQL databases are really advantageous. And we'll talk about that tomorrow in our lecture. But it's really about transactions, about things that are acid, and it kind of passes an acid test of atomic actions and things like that. You know what I mean? But it has its own faults and own issues from that. It's not databases, particularly SQL databases, aren't very scalable, or can't scale horizontally as well. It is possible, like they're like Oracle systems that are like cluster-based, and they're like cluster-based SQL databases, but they're like insanely complex and weird, and are like just a giant challenge to try to manage. And it's usually not the way. So often than not, if you're not doing anything and you're scaling stuff like that, and you're doing like a lot of database requests or doing other things with that, depending on the type of queries, if you don't need something that complicated, that database could be your bottleneck because it's hard to scale that horizontally. You kind of need to scale that vertically and just have a bigger, stronger machine to like handle that. And that's kind of annoying. So there's other strategies for doing databases that's not based on tables and relationships between each other. It doesn't use the SQL query language. They're graph-based databases. There are other kind of standards and stuff like that. But what's been gaining popularity is this kind of whole class of like NoSQL or non-SQL databases. And like graph databases and other things are part of that. But another one of those in Mongo is what we call a document store, or document-based database and stuff like that. Let's see if I can actually, do I have an instance of Mongo open or installed on here? I don't think, I rarely use this Windows instance, so I would really be surprised if it actually lives here. Yes. Mongo? No, god damn it. No, I don't have an instance of the Mongo shell here. That's annoying. Let's see if I can do atlas Mongo. What? I think I misspelled Atlas because I'm an idiot. Yeah, like, what? Why are you being so slow? That's software. Yeah, Atlas. I think I did misspell Atlas, right? I think I'm a moron. I totally did. I know I did. Yeah, this should work. Next. I think that's it. It's been like forever since I've logged into this. Okay, let's see. Come on. It's being really slow. I hate this. I do not like Atlas, the cloud version of MongoDB, and how it works in this instance. Like, I think it's kind of garbagey. For a lot of reasons. I think it's just really dumb. There used to be a great version of this that they bought out called MLab, and that was my personal favorite. But they killed MLab. They bought it and then they like totally destroyed it. Online archiver, command line tools. Is there any way I could just like go into like I just want to do some command line junks. I don't want to like install software. Oh, of course not though, right? Like it's not gonna let me like connect to your cluster. You don't just have like a thing of just like connect using Compass? I don't have Compass. God damn you. Why does it have to be so difficult? I don't have Compass. Okay, let's Jesus Christ. Okay, let's install this stupid thing. You'd think there'd just be like a quick little web way of doing this, right? Like this should not be complicated. But they have to make it complicated because, you know, why not? No, I don't want to invite anyone to this. I don't want to look in the realm. God, this group is I hate this interface. Like it's just like the worst thing. Come on, you piece of crap. God, that thing is so slow. Yeah, it is. I just don't have it on this instance, and I hate doing command line stuff. Uh, um, you know, anything if I can ever avoid it. Command line tools, load sample data set, terminate. Could you just like let me play like with this? You really need to be like difficult like this? Yeah, like, apparently so. No, I don't want to see anything. Do I have any stuff? Do I have anything in my collection? Oh, I do. Okay, I have like at this test instance. Well, I guess I can filter things and stuff like that, right? Yeah. I just want to do other requests or like other things. But apparently, like, we can't do that because, you know, anti-patterns, aggregation, find. Is that all it is? I can only do finds? Can I do other things? No, I guess not. Okay, well, while I'm getting this up and running, yeah, it should. It just totally should. Like there's a version of MongoDB like a cloud version of MongoDB that was made a while ago called MLab that was done by another company, and that was like completely 100% web based and like super nice and convenient. I really liked it. But the company that owns MongoDB bought out MLab and then pretty much destroyed MLab and all of its features and things like that. So you can't create anything new on it. You have to use this MongoDB Atlas if you want like a free tier cloud version of MongoDB. Now that being said, you can always install. Are you kidding me? Loading plugins 3 of. Oh my God! What are you possibly doing? Well, how complicated could this be? Like, what is inside of here, right? Jesus. So what MongoDB, how it's different is that it's just a document store. I do not want any of your garbage. How do I just connect? How do we do that? Connect to. Jesus Christ! I hate everything about you. So the difference between that is that it's just a JSON document store. Like that's all it is. There's nothing really complicated with it. And so because of that, everything can be like weird and different. What are you doing? Okay, I do not care about what. Yeah, just start using it. I just want to use the stupid thing. Jesus. Oh god, I don't even remember what my password would be for this. It's gotta be something stupid. I don't know. Something like that. No, I bet it did something really dumb, like a stupid username. Like. Something like that. No, okay. Jesus. What is my thing in here? I don't even remember. It's been so long. This is an instance that I killed like a long time ago. Whatever. None of these work. This is not a real account anyway, and I probably shouldn't be showing this live as it is. So that's that. But basically, you can see some you can see some instances of it running here. Oh, I guess it'll let me edit it here. That's weird. Oh, I just want to like see the whole thing. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, this is literally just a little bit of JavaScript. You know, what I mean, there's not a lot of really fancy things inside of here. You know, we have these different. 120th mini. Why is that not updating? Yeah, that totally should update. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like mixing them all together. I don't want to see everything together. Database name, collection, cap collection. Nope, don't want to make a new collection. So anyway, there are 86 other Japanese before me. Yeah, that's funny that none of those existed or none of those worked. Those are like my dummy passwords I use for garbage things that for my test instances. They're almost always like dumb passwords for stuff, which I'm sure we all have. Yeah, that's weird that none of this is like really showing like what I wanted it to. This is object. Yeah, that's everything here. Oh, that's something I made. These are the actual actors. Yeah, notifications. Scripts. Why aren't that changing though? That's really weird. That's really driving me crazy. Anyway, this is kind of an instance of it kind of showing a little bit what this looks like. For MongoDB, all we're concerning ourselves with is we're just like storing JSON documents. You know what I mean? We're uploading JSON, we're downloading it, you can query over it. We can send things like, you know, I don't know, filter, Dominic, I don't know, I think that might work. Oh, I bet I know why, because I need to tell it the actual like parameter that I want to do, right? Yeah, that's the way filter works, I think. Yeah. Did I misspell filter? No, filter and I don't know, like class, something like that. It's almost like a select. No, I guess I'm not doing that correctly. I have to look into the thing of how the filter command works again. I don't remember off the top of my head. And that's obviously not working. Oh, I know why that is, because it's like something like this. It is the already filter command. So like filter, I don't know, class, and I want everything that has like the word like cohort in it. I want like an exact match. That should work. Are you kidding me? Ugh. That's really weird. That totally should have worked that time. Okay, whatever. I'm surprised none of these is actually, yeah, it's not like update. I think the thing's like frozen or something. That should have been changing what this was. This whole thing is just garbage. Anyway, so we're just, the way Mongo works by itself is it's just a document store. We're just storing JSON documents and things. Why are you just being so garbage today? great. You can do this a little faster. Okay, well, that's taking like a year to load. Let's see, maybe I'll change network access, advanced database access, edit, yeah, password, edit password. Let's show this, so I don't care. Oh, actually, let's just auto-generate a password. There we go. And we're gonna save that, read write to anything, update user. Okay, so let's actually go through, where did that go? There we go. This, Jesus Christ, this is gonna take a year, isn't it? Because of course it will. Fucking Christ. Oh my God. Let's see. Oh, come on. Let's just get this. Oh my God. I have no idea what plugins it's trying to install. I have no idea why this would be so dumb, so slow. But it is. So for the MongoDB stuff, and we'll talk about this more next week, tomorrow, and we're actually going to go through code examples next week. I'll be a little more prepared for this, apparently, because this is just complete trash. Yeah, okay, start using it. Like, I hate you. Christ. Oh, I forgot. I didn't have that on there. I hate you so much. Okay, we're never going to look at this. This is, I just hate everything about MongoDB Atlas. Like, this is just like the worst application ever. Luckily, you'll never have to, you'll use this, but you'll only use this to make a stupid account. And once you have an account and you have a database, you'll never be using this stupid interface to do anything. You can do it all through the command line, and you're gonna be doing this using your own code. That's what I wanted to talk about, like actually like writing code for this. So the reason why we use this a lot with Node is that there's a lot of advantageous features between the two. Because we're just uploading JSON and we're writing Node code I hate Node code. We're writing our Node programs using JavaScript, and JSON is just serialized JavaScript objects. It's easy to like send things back and forth. It's just the way we query our database, or the way we query a Mongo database is using JSON. We store things using JSON. We can have collections, which are kind of like the MongoDB idea of tables. You know what I mean? It's called a collection. That's like the acronym or the metaphor for that. But our collections can have an entire mix of things inside of it. You know what I mean? We call those documents or elements inside of a collection. They can all be different. They can all be weird. They can have different things inside of it, whatever you want. You know what I mean? It's just, there to kind of play around with. So there's no like rules around that type of stuff, which is very different than like a SQL database table that's very regular and very controlled and very structured. You mean it's like a very tough, hard structure that you can't really break or modify or change. And MongoDB is like the complete opposite of that. It's like anything goes in. You can do like whatever the hell you want. And there's a lot of tools and technologies built on top of Mongo for Node that make doing things with it even easier still. We're going to talk about Mongoose and why that library exists, how to use that library, and how we bring out some of the full potential of what Mongo is. That being said, there are a lot of disadvantages, and we'll talk about those as well if you're using MongoDB, particularly in production systems and other things like that. MongoDB has its use cases, but I wouldn't use it as like a generic catch-all for all database needs per se. Like there are things with it that like aren't really a great idea, or it's not like the best generic database solution, I would say. And we'll talk about some of those reasons why. And in fact, even like its number one advantage of like having one of its big advantages is like accepting JSON objects and like having them all be different and weird stuff like that. There's some SQL databases that are like trying to replicate that functionality, so like Postgres is a SQL-based database, a relational based database. But it also allows like the upload of just like JSON objects. Like one of the things you can upload to it instead of just tables can just be JSON objects and just JSON files and other things like it as well. And there's a lot of other tools and support in Node and things for Postgres and SQL databases and other things like that. So you'll talk more about that in class tomorrow. I wish I had done more things with this. I'm really upset that like this thing is like completely like did not work. But we'll play around with it later, and we'll definitely next Wednesday. We will actually play around with MongoDB code and kind of like go through that. Okay, so that's like kind of the end of the hour. We had a lot of time wasted getting my Twitch working because apparently it broke or was weird or whatever. But everything's working a little better now. Before I leave, any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to bring up or talk about or stuff for that? You mean, or anything else that's good is going on that you want to see? Oh, I'm tired. If not, I'll catch you guys later. I will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, for our lecture. And yeah, we'll kind of get through that. We'll have a lot of stuff to do. Okay, cool. Catch you guys later. Have a great time. Bye.